LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. They were both in Thomas and Mack Center on Friday. So was I. But they were sitting on opposite sides of the gym. They couldn't have been farther away from each other. Westbrook, he sat near the Lakers bench. LeBron was on the opposite baseline. And the former MVPs, I didn't see them talking at all. They left independently at different points in the game. Russell Westbrook left around halftime. LeBron James left toward the end of the game. Wendy, are you reading anything into this non-interaction?
Well, I think it's dangerous to totally read into something when you just see a slice of their lives. But one thing I think we can say is that last year, when Russell Westbrook was traded to the Lakers, LeBron and Russ were, spending a lot of time together, totally palling around Los Angeles, working out together. They were totally invested in building that relationship, and I think it's safe to say that that's turned a little bit frosty. And, the reality is this. The reality is that LeBron does want the Lakers roster improved. The way to do that is to trade Russell Westbrook. I don't think he's demanding Russell Westbrook to get traded. He just wants them to improve. I think the entire NBA knows that, including Russ. And I also think Russ, it's not even about LeBron. Russ is really trying to build his relationship with the new coaching staff. He's spent a lot of time with Darvin Ham to this point. And he was sitting on the bench, sort of acting like a player coach during that half he was there. And I think he was trying to send a message of being a team player. And he would have done that regardless of where.
A little bit of time in the Western Conference as we welcome in our reporter covering the Lakers, Dave McMenamin, still hanging with Mark Spears and Matt Barnes. But Dave, what is the latest that you can tell us surrounding any possible trades that involve Russell Westbrook?
Well, the Lakers are going to be bringing their summer league contingency out to Las Vegas. That includes Rob Pelinka, and Rob Pelinka will be able to have a face-to-face conversation with Sean Marks of the Brooklyn Nets, and they can discuss things like, are we going to be able to put together a deal here? And are we actually getting your best offer yet? Has it just been positioning from both sides? Can we actually come down to brass tacks and figure out a deal here? If the Lakers can't figure something out with Kyrie, if that's not feasible, they're going to have to move on because their roster is incomplete. They are still missing shooting with the current group. They introduced all the new guys yesterday. Thomas Bryant brings some shooting as a stretch five, and obviously Lonnie Walker at times has hit around 40% in his career, but they need more. And Rob Pelinka and the Lakers brass believe that they can acquire that via trade. And whether that not be the major trade in Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Perhaps you call up the Indiana Pacers and you see about Buddy Hield, who they almost traded for last year.
Right.
How about Eric Gordon in Houston, who will be in a rebuilding situation, could be part of a more competitive team? Those are some of the things they're going to look at. But the first domino, they got to figure out if Kyrie's realistic or not.
Oh, and we know that shooting around LeBron James, that tends to be something that works. But they also have a new head coach in Darvin Ham, and you had a chance, Mark, to spend some time with Darvin, chat with him. What is he saying about how his coaching style could pair with, or maybe how he would use Russell Westbrook if he is still on the roster?
Well, they're BFFs right now. They're talking on the phone, they're texting, they're having lunch and dinners together. And he said, man, don't count him out. He has a clear plan for him to push his energy. He also expects him to be a starter. He loves Russell Westbrook. But I said, well, what about the other chatter? I know he's heard about Kyrie and all those things, and obviously he can't talk about other players, but he said he doesn't pay attention to that or listen to that. He watches the History Channel.
Well, he falls asleep to the History Channel or watches the History Channel? I mean, but
depends on what history it is.
See, there you go. The thing is, though, Matt, for a coach, you have to look at who is on the roster. You can't necessarily fully go into planning for the hypothetical moves that could be made. What is ideal when you're looking at if Russell Westbrook, as you're reporting, Mark, is going to be a starter? What is the role that would be ideal for him to play if the Lakers want to not just win it, get back into the playoffs? Let's start there.
Well, I mean, I think if the dust settles and Russ ends up being here, and I think that's what Darvin Ham's focus is. Obviously, he's on the team now. You don't know what's going to happen, so we're assuming that Russ is going to be there. But sometimes, as Mark touched on, you need a coach that's able to push these guys' buttons, and Darvin Ham could possibly be that coach that can remotivate Russ, have a conversation with Russ, kind of tell him what he sees and what he feels like his best possible roles. We all know Russ is a very confident, sometimes stubborn, hard-headed guy, but at the same time, when you respect where the voice is coming from, whether that be a coach or an older player, sometimes you change your tune. So if the dust does settle and the Lakers are with Russell Westbrook, it's not a terrible thing, again, because I feel like like maybe Darvin Ham can be that one guy that really gets into him and has him back to playing, not necessarily who he was in OKC, but something suitable for his age and what helps this team the most.
And Matt, it's a really savvy move by Darvin because of the many things that went wrong for the Lakers last year. The personal relationship between Frank Vogel and Russell Westbrook wasn't there.
Right.
Yep.
And so Darvin, who knows if Russell's going to be on the team, but if he is, Darvin's already laying out that path to make things work.
Well, and in Milwaukee, that was one of the things. Players respected Darvin Ham so very much.
And he keeps it 100, 1,000, 1 million.
Every minute of every
Like those
day
glasses.
of the year. There you go. Well, he's wearing them because we need to get Mark Spears out of here. He's got some big
Wedding
plans. Wedding crasher. Over
Congratulations,
here. So
Cody Woods.
We'll let you go to Cody Woods.
How do you think Russ's summer's going?
He was a guest at Kevin Love's wedding. From all accounts, it was a wonderful affair. I don't know, Brian. I don't know. Listen, he has put his public support behind Darvin Ham. It was a very good hire by the Lakers, in my estimation. We talked to the Lakers' second-round draft pick, Max Christie, who they traded to get that pick. You know, the guy who was a McDonald's All-American, and Max told us the one Laker out of the big three who has reached out to him was Russ. He hasn't heard, as of last week, he hadn't heard from AD or LeBron. So Russ, for his part, is staying attached to the franchise. As we can see by my reporting, many others, the interest in Kyrie Irving is for a reason. He's a better basketball player than Russell Westbrook.
Well, I will say this about Russ. He makes $950,000 a week, whether it's on the Lakers somewhere else, whether he's working out in LA, whether he's packing up his gear, he makes $950,000 a week. So your life can't be that bad after picking up that option, right?
Yeah, he'll find a way to be just fine. But, listen, I don't want to beat a drum here, because I feel like in some capacity, I've been saying this same thing now for 5 years, but when you got LeBron James and what's left of his prime, you better, as a franchise, be doing whatever you can to maximize it and try to add some banners, try to add some trophies. And that's what everyone in LA should be aligned thinking wise right now. And quite frankly, if it's cost prohibitive to do so, you have to rethink who you are as a franchise if you claim all you care about is titles, because that's not NBA in 2022 if you're trying to penny pinch and hoist up Larry O'Brien trophies at the same time.
One thing Jeannie Buss has done consistently, I assume she learned this from her father, she has made it a priority for the Lakers to take care of star players. And that contract that you talked about Kobe signing, which definitely held the Lakers down and contributed to their 7-year run of not making the playoffs. It was not the right thing from a team standpoint. She talks about that, but it was the right thing from a player standpoint. And I was talking to somebody in the league this last week and talking about how some of these players who were demanding trades wanted to be Lakers. They were like, boy, people have been trying to become Lakers for 75 years. And I go, it's actually 76 because we're now in the 76 season and they still want to be there. And that is probably the best thing the Lakers got going for them. And so keeping that in mind is something that Jeannie has always done. And so I think that is very relevant as we come here, especially as we think about LeBron James' contract option or his extension option.